Is it the good time to buy or sell? Confused about the roller coaster-like market? But fear not, my friends, because with these 11 data charts, you're about to become the guru of the market as well. Pay special attention to the last two charts. They are not just about buying or selling houses. They affect almost everything from car, grocery, and many other things. Now, let's talk facts and figures, shall we? The thing about data is, it can lead you down a rabbit hole faster than you can say cheese. Why? Because depending on how you slice the same data, comparing with last year, last month, or the average of the past decade, you get different vibes and emotions. But fear not, I'm here to guide you through this maze of numbers and help you arrive at conclusions that will make even your grandma proud. All the real estate data here is straight from the Greater Vancouver Real Estate Board and the Bank of Canada. Get started with the big picture first. Folks, that's 47 years of index price trends since 1977. Blue for detached houses, red for townhouses, and green for condos. What do you say from it? Here's my take. I say a high mountain first, a high steep mountain. Up, 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 all the way to the top. Even sometimes ups and downs, but later going up faster and steeper. But like a champ, the market always bounces back higher, dusts off its shoulders, and sets higher. The trend line, for me, is like the Olympics motto: higher, faster, stronger. And the mountain is reaching for the stars. And the terrible thing is the mountain is still growing. If you are on the top of the mountain, you will be higher and higher with the mountain. If not, it's not easy to climb. You probably heard about the oil crisis, 1977, 1990, and the 2008 financial crisis. But can you spot the crashes of those turbulent times? Is that obvious? In the face of relentless inflation, they are nothing, just nothing. But here's the golden rule I always swear by. As long as inflation's in town, prices will climb. Everything goes up. So why not housing prices? Alright, enough chatter. Look up there in the top right corner. See that unmistakable seesaw? Up, down. And hey, what's that? A little uptick at the end. Can you feel it? It's like the market whispering secrets in our ears. So, what do you think about that? Is it another ups and downs? Or another starting point for soaring into the sky? This picture right here, yeah, it's like the holy grail of the Greater Vancouver area. It's the trend chart showing the total sales number of single houses, townhouses, and condos. Now, when people talk about whether the housing market is good or not, most of them are just pointing at this bad boy. And let me tell you, looking at the current transaction volume compared to the peak during the pandemic, it's like witnessing a train wreck in slow motion. But hey, hold the phone. See that little tail wagging on the far right? That's right, folks. That little tail is starting to wag. Buyers are sniffing around like it's a buffet. So, folks, If you are thinking about jumping into the game, now's the time to strike while the iron's hot. Okay, this picture is a trend chart of the inventory. It basically tells you how many houses are up for grabs. And guess what? It doesn't look too shabby, even now. So why? What does that mean? Time for a pop quiz. Take your pick. Number 1, sellers are just visionary geniuses. Number 2, interest rates are sky high, suffocating people, forcing them to sell. Alright, you got it right. But if you didn't hit the bull's eye, fear not. After you feast your eyes on a few more charts below, you'll have a clearer picture, literally. This picture is so pro. I call it the pressure chart. If you can fully grasp it, you are basically halfway to becoming a real estate wizard. According to the real estate board, if it's below 12, that's downward pressure, meaning it's a buyer's market. If it's above 20, that's upward pressure, meaning it's a seller's market. Why halfway to becoming a wizard? You ask. Because this chart, you could also call it the hindsight chart, lagging behind the market by half a step. But you can still see the trends and where things are headed. See that far right end? It's not just the curling up. It's also about 20. Pay attention. So far, all the charts you see have that curled up tail. When a dog's tail curls up, you know what that means, right? Well, what about when this data tails curl up? Got any idea what's brewing? Alright, let's dive into the hilarious real estate roller coaster. So we are gonna break it down by house types. And guess what? Your favorite topic. Let's start with detached houses. Now check out that sales trend. Whew, it's like trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sales are so slow and tiny. They are practically playing hide and seek. But wait, what's that on the far right? Bingo, we've got a winner. Tails up again. But what does that mean? Well, take a look at the past. Those times, it wagged up and then plummeted 3 times harder. Yeah, not a pretty sight. Then there are those shooting up to the sky like Jack's beanstalk. That's right, reaching for the heavens. That's the story of spring of 2021. And hey, don't forget spring of 2020, 2022, and 2023. It's like a recurring springtime drama, right? Seems like spring is back again. And you know how I can tell? My allergies. But listen up, sellers. Pay attention. The data in those charts, they rarely wag their tails beyond the 4th generation. Translation? If you are selling, don't wait too long. Strike while the iron's hot. Or you will be stuck waiting for the next tail wag next spring. Maybe. Now, when we talk about the major points, what else are we gonna look at? Prices? Pressures? Inventory? Nah, all that's just fluff. Only transaction volume is the real deal. Otherwise, you are just sitting on valuable property, paying hefty taxes for nothing. Alright, so picture this. You've got this pressure gauge for your standalone house, right? And guess what? It's sticking its tail up in the air, but hold your horses. It ain't even hit the big 2-0 market yet. What that supposed to mean? Well, seems like the pressure's a bit lacking. My friend, we might just need some more data to see if we are hitting that magic 20 threshold next month. Looking at the sales of apartments, they are starting to wag their tails as well, which reminds me of a line. Spring is here. It's the season of all things come back to life. With the arrival of the tail-wagging season, buyers and sellers are getting all excited. Okay, the pressure chart in apartments. Oh man, it's like a deja vu all over again. We've exhausted all the lines. But hey, the pressure in apartments isn't your run-of-the-mill stress. You know, it's like they start at level 20 or something and just keep rising. That's something new to pay close attention if you are in the condo market. Remember, 20 is the threshold for the seller's market. Alright, finally, we've arrived at our superstar product, the row houses. It's like they've got this tragic little tail sticking out, right? Transactions volume is so tiny. Why in the world are they the stars of the show? Come take a gander at this pressure chart and you'll get it. Because most of the time, it's about 20. Right? Remember, above 20 is the seller's market. According to the theory, it seems like basically, roughly, more or less, is always a seller's market. Can we not call this a star? Not a celebrity in terms of traffic, but at the very least, a pressure superstar, right? In other words, it belongs to the hot-selling products. Don't get it twisted. Low trading volume doesn't necessarily mean low prices. Low trading volume, high pressure doesn't necessarily mean nobody's buying. It could also mean here's a lot of buying but not much inventory going on and caused low trading volume. Alright folks, gather around for this important chart. Behold, the chart that will catapult you straight into expert territory. Why do I say that? Because all those fancy data graphs you've been eyeballing, they are all dancing to the tune of this masterpiece. Think of it as the causeway to all the effects you see above. Once you crack the course, you are basically playing Nostradamus with the effects, and that, my friends, means predicting the future. Now, in this kaleidoscope of colors, we've got blue representing inflation rates, orange symbolizing interest rates, and guess what? Inflation rates are the cause of the interest rates. In theory, the central bank uses interest rates to rein in those pesky inflation numbers. If inflation's shooting through the roof, they jack up the interest rates to cool things down. Once they say it's doing the trick, or if inflation starts behaving itself, they sit back, sip their tea, and wait to see what happens next before making another big move. So here's the scoop. Inflation's cooling down a bit, but not good enough to relax. You can see that from this picture. So the central bank is stuck between a rock and a hard place. They are neither brave enough to cut risks nor bold enough to risk them. Instead, they are pulling off some Jedi mind tricks, dropping hints left and right to the overly optimistic bunch. They are whispering, "Hey, simmer down. Don't go on a crazy spending spree. If you drive inflation up, I'll just have to hike up those interest rates and run on your parade." And to the perpetually gloomy ones, they're saying, "Chin up, buttercup. Better days are coming. Hold tight through this darkness. Dawn's just around the corner. Pretty soon, we'll all be swimming in bread and butter. The world's your oyster." Oh, and check out the far right corner. We finally see a droopy tail. But here's the kicker. That droopy tail and the perky one up top, they are two sides of the same coin. Because of that droopy tail, there's a chance to cut risks. And with a chance to cut risks, there's a chance for trading volumes to soar. It's all interconnected, folks. So what's the deal with the expectations that the central bank has? Take a look at this 10-year inflation trend chart. Before the pandemic hit, that was their dream scenario. Keeping inflation around 2%, ideally even lower than that. It's like their holy grail. So, do you think they are gonna slash interest rates real quick? If you take a look again at the chart with the rate of inflation and interest, you've gone through all these 11 charts. You are practically a graduate now. You are the big chicks, the expert. Time to throw us some lifelines. Are you ready? Alright, folks, gather around for a little housing humor. Buyers, so you've all seen those 10 pictures of horses floating their perfectly perked tails. And then there's that one with a tail drooping like it's had a rough day. What's your take on that? Feeling tempted to dive into the real estate game? What's got you itching? Feeling the pressure? What's weighing you down? And to all you sellers out there, do you think it's prime time to cash in, or should we hold off a little bit longer? How long we talking about here? Whether you're buying or selling, here's a golden nugget of wisdom. Greed is one of the notorious deadly enemy of investment. Folks, remember that. Now, here's a little pop quiz for you. Besides greed, what's the other deadly enemy of investment? Go on, take a wild guess.